So I just received the new Epson T3170x printer for printing film positives. Today I'm going to set it up, show you what that process looks like, as well as test it out and let you know what I think. I now have the printer uncrated, unboxed, and in place. I've already gone ahead and I've removed all the tape, the plastic, the styrofoam. There's an orange plastic key in there that gets removed as well. All of that is just for protection during transport. So I've gone ahead and removed all that. Now the printer is ready to be set up and installed. It comes with this quick setup guide. We're going to go through this step by step and install this printer. First, now we're gonna fill the ink tanks, which I'm gonna go through and show you right now. One of the coolest features of this particular printer is it's a cartridge-less system. It uses these bottles here to fill the tanks. Since we're gonna do an all-black system, we're just gonna be putting the AccuInk in all 4 color slots. So the way that you do this is you remove the cap. Going to open up the cover, and then you're not going to squeeze the bottle, and you'll see that it doesn't drip when it's held upside down. You're going to put it in place and leave it, and it will fill all the way to the top line and stop filling automatically once it gets to the top fill line. Once that fills, we're going to go and we're going to fill the magenta, yellow, and cyan slots as well. Now that the ink tanks are full, I've got it plugged in and we're going to go ahead and just turn it on now. Here we're going to set our language. And then when you see a message about removing the protective parts, you're just going to select Done. We're going to select Day and Time. And now what it's doing is it's filling the lines, it's preparing, it's going to run the head back and forth. And this will just take approximately 20 minutes for it to fill the lines at this point. Next, we're going to go ahead and load the film. We're using AccuJet here, 24x100. So before plugging the printer into the computer, we're going to go ahead and download the printer drivers here. So that's just going to be at www.epson.com/support/T3170x. Once you get to this page, we're just going to scroll down to where it says Drivers and Utilities Combo Package Installer. We're going to download that. And then once downloaded, we're going to go ahead and run that. I typically check direct USB connection for all printers just to make sure that it sends all the information the way that I like it. So now at this point, now we're going to plug it in. So I've got a printer USB cable here. So now that we have the drivers installed and set up and the PC connected to the printer, we're going to go ahead and set up the Rip software. So go into your CadLink FilmMaker Rip software. We're going to open up the printer and Q setup wizard and start from there. So we'll hit next, next. The printer, you're going to go down and look for the printer. That's going to be the Epson T3170x separations for this purpose. And you'll see the port should automatically set up because you are connected via USB. Here we'll click next. Your media, so you're going to have it set at 24 inches wide unless you're using a smaller roll, which this will take. But right now I've got it set up for 24-inch wide rolls. Hit next. Here, the resolution, I have found the best resolution to be the 1200 by 600, so straight down here towards the bottom. Oh, sorry. 1200 by 600. And I've found, even though we're filling all 4 tanks with black ink, I have found with this particular printer, by having it set up as a single color, one color mode, it's going to print from just the black slot only. I found it actually prints a little bit cleaner and sharper. So that's what I'm going to be doing here today, is setting it up as one color. Here's your frequency and angle of your halftones. I'm just going to leave it as the default, 45 LPI, 22.5 degrees. Hit next. This is where you're going to name your cue, so I just leave it as the standard Epson SC T31XX separations. Hit next. And now we're going to do an ink density test. So with this ink density test, move this over to the side, I'm going to do test print page high ink level. So by doing this, it's going to populate inside the queue all of these ink density test patches, and it's going to print a bunch of different patches. Each one of those patches will actually be using a different ink density setting. So as we run this and print it, what we'll do is we'll go back and look at each one of those patches to see which one looks the cleanest, the sharpest, the most opaque, darkest, the best print that we're after. So you can see here it's populating, it's generating the preview. Once all of those are populated within this preview, it'll be ready to print. Just takes a second sometimes. And now it's ready. So it says pending here. I click on that, and then I'll click on print job. You can see it says spooling output, and now it's sending the information over to the printer. It'll print it, and we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it and see which one looks the best. Once we look at that, we'll say whichever number looks the best. We're going to put it into this box right here, hit done, and it'll use those ink density settings going forward. Once it's done printing, because it's such a small strip of film that we've printed, I'll go in here and I'll go into feed cut paper. Here you can hit forward and feed the film out. Once it's out, you can hit cut. We're all set to look at her. So at this point, we're going to inspect the film to see which one looks the best. If you hold it up to the light, you can see a lot better. But what I've found is, looking at this, each one of these patches, patch 20 here looks the darkest, most opaque. It looks the smoothest print as well. So I'm just going to put 20 into that box in the rip, and it'll use those ink density settings going forward. So now that everything is all set up, we're going to go ahead and print a job. So I'm going to be using Illustrator here today. So in Illustrator, what I do is I'll go to File, Print. Opens up this print dialog box. The printer that we're going to choose is going to be that rip queue that you just created. So it's going to say the Epson T3170x separations. Media size, I always hit custom. That way it's going to bring all of the artwork down into that artboard size. From here I'll go over to output. I will hit mode separations host based. And then I'll go down here and select the colors that I'm going to be printing. This is just a black print, so we'll leave it as process black. And hit print. This will automatically send the artwork over into the rip. Then in the rip, you can see that we've got our queue open. It's pending inside our rip queue. We can click it, and then we're going to hit the rip and print. And we're printing high quality positives.